Today we're talking about floating floors, what they are, and how to avoid voiding your warranty on them. So what is a floating floor? Well, quite frankly, it's in the name. It's a floor that's floating. Basically, I have three types of floors here. We're going to show you examples of what a floating floor is. The first one is Old Faithful laminate flooring. This one does not have an attached pad on it, so you're going to need an underlay. But basically, this floor gets installed right on top of your subfloor with that underpad. And you don't nail it, you don't screw it, you don't glue it. It basically floats around and has the ability to move as you install it. Two other examples are this loose lay flooring. This can be glued down depending on the manufacturer's specs. Sometimes it's just laid down and held down by the weight of the flooring, but it does move and expand as required. And the last one is like an SPC product. This one has an attached pad on it, so you wouldn't need an underlay. But this one you don't glue, screw, or nail either, so it basically is allowed to move as required. Now, why is that movement important? Basically, all of these boards are going to expand and contract at different levels, and being able to have that floor move around and expand and contract as needed is going to keep it looking good every single day of the year, no matter what the weather or temperature is doing inside your house. If you do not allow the floor to float by screwing or gluing certain boards, what can happen is the boards will pull away from each other or peak, and you do not want that because that's a very hard problem to fix. Floating floors are great, but how do you avoid voiding the warranty on them when you're installing? Well, the number one way is to get a professional installation. Through End of the Roll Flooring Centers, we offer professional installation. Talk with your local center. They'll be able to install it for you and make sure your warranty stays intact. If you are going to DIY, here's several tips to help you not void your warranty. The number one reason warranties are voided on floating floors is improper installation. And that usually comes down to the floor not being flat. Read the manufacturer's specifications. What it will often tell you is how much of a variance you can have over a certain span. For example, it might say this floor is okay to install when it's 1/8 out of flat with it over a 10-foot span. So if your floor is not perfectly flat, that's okay, but there is a variance which is allowed before the warranty is voided. The second reason in installation is expansion joints. When you're going around the perimeter of the room or around objects like an island, for example, you're going to need to leave a certain type of expansion joint. The type of joint you need will be laid out in the manufacturer's recommendations. Usually it's 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch, and that allows the floor to expand and contract without running into anything, causing those peaks and valleys that we talk about. Also, if you install these products over too long of a run, it can void the warranty as well. Most of these products will have a limit to how far you can take them. For example, they'll say you can do this over a 40-foot run before you'll need to put in an expansion joint. Read the manufacturer's specifications on that, and that'll tell you exactly how far you can run the flooring before you need that expansion joint. Lastly, once the flooring's installed, if you're going to install something else on top of that flooring, that's a no-go. For example, if you were to install an island that was permanently screwed into the flooring and subflooring that would prevent that area of flooring from moving, that would void your warranty. Another thing people do is they'll put cabinets on top of this floor and then throw a granite countertop on top of that. That will also prevent the floor from moving, and that will void your warranty as well. Once you put an immovable object on top of floating floor, that section of floating floor can no longer move, and that allows all the flooring around it to still move, and that's where you get the problems of where it will push in and peak or separate, and you'll have problems with your floor, and that would void your warranty. If you have any questions about floating floors, installation techniques, or what you need to do in your home, visit your local End of the Roll Flooring Center, and we'll get you sorted.